Hi everyone, my name is Seldon Tenzing. I'm an entrepreneur in the field of travel, a certified life and a business coach, a speaker and author in making. Thank you and welcome again to my YouTube channel. I'm excited to talk about this topic again because this is something that I feel 99% of people suffer from. Some very consciously and some unconsciously, but everyone does have that element inside of them. I'm talking about the fear of rejection. Does it sound familiar? Have you heard about this before? If this topic sounds to you, stick with me till the end because I'm going to talk about 5 different things. You know me, I like to deep dive into the topic. Right? So I'm going to talk about number 1, what is a fear of rejection? Then I'm going to talk about where does it come from? Where does this fear of rejection really originate from? The third thing I'm going to talk about is the impact of this fear of failure in your life, in your business, in your career. The fourth thing I'm going to talk about are the common behaviors that one might display just because that person has a fear of rejection. And the fifth thing is I'm going to talk about is how you can, or somebody you can help them overcome this fear of rejection. Cool? So stick till the end, like I said, and I promise you I'm going to provide a lot of value today, like I try every week. So shall we deep dive in? Okay, so what is fear of rejection? Some of you might have heard it, some of you might be totally unaware of this. But fear of rejection, like I said, is very much prevalent in all of our lives. It's just like the intensity of it really matters. Some have high, some have low. But I'm this person that had really intense a fear of rejection, and so that's why I wanted to talk about this topic. And it created a lot of hurdles in my own life, and I had to work on myself to really overcome it. And so, first of all, let's understand what is fear of rejection. Fear of rejection is basically a fear. Irrational fear. And the reason why I say irrational is because it's not really backed by any scientific facts or statistics behind it. It's just a fear, irrational fear, wherein you feel that you probably won't be accepted, or people won't approve of you just because of the way you talk, the opinions that you have, or it could be because of the personality that you have, or the looks, the way you look, or the values or the behavior. So you just feel that you probably won't be accepted in the society, and that is a fear that in some people it can be very, very intense as well. Okay, and it's so intense that it can very significantly influence the kind of decisions you make, the choices you make, the actions you take. So hence it is so important to understand where this fear is coming from, why do you have this fear, and how you can change it. Right? So that is your fear of rejection. It is, like I said, it's irrational, but it can be very intense, and it can be very life-changing at the same time. So let's understand, where is this even coming from in the first place, right? And most of our fears really go back to our childhood days. And there are 2 major reasons why you may have this fear. The first one is because you suffer from a poor self-esteem and self-worth. And the second thing could be that you lack self-confidence. Okay, like I said, again, it goes back to our childhood days. And it could be a childhood trauma. You might have gone through a certain situation that could have led into, to a low self-worth and self-confidence, that has lowered your self-worth and self-confidence. Or it could be something related to, this is something that happened to me, is a lot of times when kids are growing up, parents tend to compare their kids a lot with other children or other families, or other benchmarks. And when that consistent, persistent comparison keeps happening, what happens is the child tends to think that I need to be a certain behavior, I need to display a certain behavior, I need to have certain personality. The kid starts to tries hard to match someone else's expectation and personality in order to feel that in order to feel accepted and acknowledged. And this personally happened with me, and I was this kind of person who was always, I felt like I was always compared. I had to compete, I had to always show my worth and prove my worth, otherwise I was nobody, I was no one. So these are this could be another good reason why you have a fear of rejection. And like I said, this is again very, very life changing. This could lead you to become a person which is, who feels that you're not good enough. And this kind of person can actually uh, look for external validation. This person tries to meet other expectations, looks for, like I said, looks for external validation. And till the time you don't get that validation, that person keeps feeling that he or she is not good enough. So they don't have their own sense of worth. And that is a very challenging situation in one's life, because then you are not yourself, you're not your authentic self. You're just like become like a made up someone in order to impress someone and to be accepted, just to be accepted in the society, or in the friend circle, or in the family circle. So we spoke about what is fear of rejection. We spoke about where it really comes from. And third thing I want to talk about is the impact of this fear of rejection. So again, this fear can have a variety of impact in all areas of your life. And that's the reason why I wanted to make a separate special video on this. For example, let's say if you are looking for a new job, you're going for a job interview or something like that, and this happens, right? Like when you're going for a job interview, we're so nervous because we don't know whether we'll be accepted or rejected. And people who have really intense fear of rejection can come out to be very nervous, very insecure, very you can have like sweaty hands, and you'll be fumbling and mumbling. So all of these things can happen. It really, really impacts you, because you can't be your true self. It really impacts your image in front of other people as well. And in interview, I think this will be a disastrous interview if this happens to you, right? And let's talk about entrepreneurship. Like I said, like for me, I first learned and understood about my fear of rejection when I started my business. And that was a time where I actually felt like a lot of people didn't believe in my idea. I faced a lot of rejections. People were like saying nasty things about me at times. And that really demotivated me. I felt so rejected, demotivated. And I realized that I had this very strong sense of rejection, fear of rejection. So I really had to work on something, because business is all about that. Entrepreneurship is all about that. Entrepreneurship, no one is going to be like, very less people are there who actually root for you, they actually cheer for you. Entrepreneurship is a game of competition. It's like a lot of people, if you have a unique idea, different idea, potential idea, a lot of people will actually try to pull you down. They can't believe you, they don't trust you. So you've got to build those skills, in order to be successfully be able to convey your idea. Otherwise, it's going to be so difficult closing deals. In fact, I used to even fear picking up a phone call and talking to people. It used to be such a, intense fear for me that, I could never go through. And that could be another impact, so this fear of rejection again in entrepreneurship it has a very, very negative, intense impact. So you've got to be very careful about this fear. Third thing is, even if you look about your relationships, if you are trying to date somebody and you're in a dating phase, in a relationship, if you are so afraid of showing your true self because you feel that if you're not good enough, you don't want to show that true self. You're always stopping yourself from being the person that you really are. You're always wearing like a facade. You're always trying to show the best self. That's not really good for a dating life, because that other person can never understand who you are. And you're always trying to please the other person. You're always trying to show your best foot forward. But we're human beings. We just can't be that all the time, right? And you as a person, you're always afraid that, the other person might reject you, might not love you, might leave you. So all these fears accumulate, and it really can make a relationship very, very stressful. So overall, fear of rejection has a deeper impact in all areas of your life. Hence, it's important to understand this. And the fourth thing I also want to highlight is the common behaviors that one might display if that person has a fear of rejection. So I just want you to take it as a reference and see if you display that emotion, or someone around you is displaying that emotion, and so that you understand that person has a intense fear of rejection. So the first behavior that I've really noticed is an artificial behavior. That person, like I said, wants to look the best all the time. That person is so afraid to show their weaker sense, their vulnerabilities, and they're so afraid of showing their true self, just because that they're afraid that the other person might reject them or judge them. So they tend to wear like a very thick mask on their face just to look good. And I know this because I have done this for the longest part of my life. And and it just creates like you the person cannot penetrate, other person cannot really understand you, cannot really understand your personality and your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, because you never really open up to that person and show who the hell you really are. So it creates some kind of like an artificial behavior. Second thing you might notice is that the person tends to become a people pleaser. Now, what does that mean is again the same thing, that because you are so afraid of facing that rejection, you're doing your best to please that person, so that that other person is not upset with you, the other person likes you, you are in the good books of the other person, so you tend to please the other person a lot. And again, that's again a drawback. Of course, it's nice to help other people, it's nice to support other people, but if you are going and trying to please the other person way beyond than you actually want to, then that's where the issues can come in, right? Another common behavior is that person will try to avoid confrontation as much as possible. That person again doesn't want to confront anybody, because if someone is mistreating them bad, that person cannot really get up and say, hey, you know what, I don't like the way you treat me, because again that person is feeling that if I say something negative or say something that the other person might not like, that person might reject me, might leave me, might not love me. So all of those emotions start coming up. So that person is very careful of avoiding confrontation, which is again not really good in the long run, because you have got to stand up for yourself in case there is somebody who is really trying to put you down, right? And it can also, another common behavior that I've seen is procrastination and going into the paralysis mode. Because how you procrastinate is, for example, there is something very important thing to do. Let's say you're in a business and you need to make that important business call and close the deal, right? It is very crucial for the success of your business, but because you're so afraid that that person might not listen to you or might just completely reject your idea, you procrastinate in making that call in the first place, right? So that is again very detrimental to your business and into your life as well. So procrastination can be a big deal here. People also go into this paralysis mode, because then they start overthinking what the other person will say, what will he think, how will I be judged, and then they don't do the things that they need to do. They can also be, I've seen people also not keep promises that they make. Because what happens is, sometimes people who have fear of rejection, they're trying to please other people, they become, like I said, people pleasers, and they tend to make promises more than they can actually keep, and they tend to make promises more than they actually want to in the first place. So when that emotion is not coming from within, they are unable to keep their promises. They look like hypocrites at times. They sound like, like, why would you promise something? Like, the other person would be confused with their emotion, and they would be like, why would you promise something when you can't keep it? So that can lead to mistrust, that can lead to frustration. So you as you as you can see, the impact is very immense in different areas of your life. And so I wanted to highlight some of the common behaviors so that you can recognize whether you have that issue or someone else, your loved ones, have that issue, so that we can now progress and see how we can actually overcome this fear of rejection. Okay, so that comes to the last part of this video of how to overcome. So there are 5 things: perspectives, you can call it perspectives, principles, thought process, mindset, whatever you can call it. But I want to give you these 5 things to keep it in mind and to do, so that it can help you move forward and overcome your fear of rejection. So the first thing that I would like you to understand is that we're all human beings, okay? And emotions are part of our life. So even when, someone rejects us or someone doesn't think good about us, it's very naturally to feel hurt or sad or angry at times. So the first thing I would like you to understand is that it's natural, and you've got to accept these emotions and acknowledge these emotions. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to be like, oh, why do I feel these emotions? I shouldn't be feeling these emotions. Just acknowledge it and accept those emotions. I mean, we're human beings after all, right? The second thing that I would like you to understand is that not everyone is same, right? We all are different. We come from different backgrounds. We have different values, different belief systems, different conditioning actually growing up. So you cannot expect people to think the same as you're thinking, right? So people will come with their own opinions. People will have their own suggestions and disagreements if they have to. So you cannot expect that everyone will agree with you and should agree with you. I think that was a game changer with me, because I felt like everyone should be liking me, everyone should be agreeing with me. I used to feel like, hey, you know what, I'm so great, I'm so good at what I do, why people don't care for me. So this is something that I had to accept and understand, that not everyone is same, not everyone will like you, and that's totally fine. And that's totally fine, because the good thing is that you don't need everyone in life, right? The good thing is that in order to be successful, even in the game of entrepreneurship, you don't need everyone as your customer or as your client. You just need to find someone who's like-minded as you. You just need to find someone who believes, who has the same values and same perspectives as you do. That's it. And then you don't have to care about the rest of the people. They have their own life. They have the right to believe what they believe in. So that is something that you shouldn't take the burden of persuading people that don't want to believe in you. So that's the second thing that I wanted to highlight. Third thing is, I would also like you to get a reality check. And reality check of what you're thinking. Very often what happens is, what this fear of failure, what any fear does is that it accelerates or it exaggerates the gravity of a situation. So it may not be as bad as you think it is, but because you have that fear and you overanalyze and you overthink, you tend to feel that, oh, this is the worst of it, this is the end of it. But you really got to ask this question: is it really the end of it? Is it really the worst that you're thinking? And you've got to analyze what is the worst that can happen, and most of the time you'll figure out that it makes no difference at times. If someone is rejecting you, if someone doesn't like you, it really doesn't matter, because in the long run, it doesn't really impact your life. So you've got to get a reality check. You've got to check if what you're thinking is really what you're thinking, or you're just exaggerating and making things bigger than it really is. So it helps you take off that extra stress out of your thing. The fourth thing that I want to highlight is that once you have these perspectives in place, I think people rejecting you or people not believing in your idea or not liking you can be a great feedback tool. Right? It can be a feedback tool to understand, really, is there any shortcomings in you, or in your business or in your service that you're offering. So this is a great way to really, if you don't take it personally, if you don't personalize it, I think it can become a great feedback tool for your betterment itself, your personal betterment, personal growth, or your business growth. And I think this can really be a powerful thing if it is taken rightly and correctly. However, I would like to give a slight asterisk mark here, but you've got to listen to people who you think are trustworthy, who you think genuinely care for you. Because a lot of people can also be toxic in your lives. They can simply be there just to pull you down, just to make you feel bad. So you've got to be able to identify those kind of people. If they're not toxic, if you think that they're just genuinely giving you feedback, or they have certain concerns that they're sharing with you, take it with open arms. Take it with a pinch of salt. Even if you feel bad, doesn't matter. But this can become a really good mechanism to improve yourself, to get the insights which you yourself cannot see at times, right? And the other person can see. So I think that can be a fantastic tool if you can use it that way. The last thing that I want to highlight, which is a very important thing, is you've got to create your own mastermind circle. Now, whenever I'm coaching, doing one-to-one coaching, I always talk about this, the power of mastermind circle. Now, what is this mastermind circle? The mastermind circle is a group of people, okay, that you meet, you hang out with, you discuss with on a regular basis or time to time basis, who are like-minded like you are, who have similar aspirations, who are looking at who really care for you, and who are there to help you, guide you, support you, acknowledge you, right? So these kind of people are super essential. They could be your family members, they could be your friends, they could be your mentors, coaches, whoever they can be, but it's important to have a circle of them around you, so that whenever you feel low, you can always reach out to them. If you have any issues, if you think that someone doesn't believe in your idea, or you want to have a suggestion, you can always go to this group and get the right answers for it, because this is a group that is supporting, that is always cheering for you, rooting for you. And even if they're harsh, they need that group needs to be straightforward. That group needs to be an honest group that can give you a real feedback about where you are making a mistake and what you're doing right as well. So I think having a mastermind group can really help you, because you can always go to them. There's no fear of rejection there, because you trust that group, and that group gives you honest feedback, and you don't have to really rely on other people's opinion, because that set of opinion is good enough for you to understand what you're doing and where you're going. So I hope you found this video valuable, and if you are one of those people who has this fear of rejection, I hope you're able to overcome this, because this can really get worsened over the time. These negative beliefs that we have over the time, they can get stronger, and they can have more deeper impact into your areas of life, and I don't want that for you. What I also do is, if you want to talk more deeper into this particular topic, I also give a 30 minutes discovery session. You can log on to my website, and you can register for a discovery session, and we can talk one-on-one as well. And for budding, aspiring, growing entrepreneurs, I have a separate group for you called the Entrepreneurship Hub, where I would like to connect with you and talk about business related things, and mostly about mindset, fears, and the strategies that you want to include, you want to evolve in your business with. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.